Welcome back to another episode of Post Smut Clarity. This is our book club podcast where me and my friend Hiram read smut books and tell you what we think. What book are we reading today, Hiram?
We have read previously Pucking Around by Emily. Is it Roth?
Roth, I would say. Emily Roth.
Yeah, Emily Roth. It is a hockey romance. It is one hell of a hockey romance. Um, Before reading this, I had no idea that hockey was a romance genre, but I get it. After this, I get it. This
I totally
was
get it. I totally get it. I think there's like a thing to the obscurity of the sport a little bit. Like, not that it's not a major sport, so don't at me about that. It is a major sport, but it's like not like the one that you assume when you're like, oh, sports star.
it's not a major. Oh God, okay. It's not a major sexy sport.
It's not like
Like,
you're covered in pads. Like it's different. It's a little different.
I guess I wouldn't. What would you call a major sexy sport, though?
I think we dug ourselves into a hole that we can't get out of.
Like jujitsu, maybe. On when you have someone on guard, that is some sexy stuff.
I mean, I guess like certain like baseball they have tight pants on. I guess football too, tight pants.
I think baseball this season, especially with those uniforms where you could see right through them.
Exactly.
They went for sexy this year. Yeah.
To each their own. To each their own.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah. This is a new genre that I think we both discovered, and like what a ringer, what a book, what a book. Also, our first like dive into like real smut. I think I
Yeah.
didn't really have an idea what smut was until this book specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. This is straight literary pornography, if you ask me. There's not that there's anything wrong with that. If you want pornography, literary or otherwise, you do you. I'm not here to judge.
100%.
I'm
All
not
right.
gonna yuck anyone's yum, but yeah, this is straight.
You
This
do
is
not yuck
straight
anyone's yum.
porn.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Don't yuck anyone's yum. I gotta remember that one. It's gotta be key. That's a reoccurring one. All right. So we're gonna give you a quick synopsis of the book, go through what happened. Story wise, it's gonna be pretty fast. Not much to talk about story wise, which is probably endemic to this genre. We'll see as we keep going. So it starts with the main character, Rachel Price, and she's aspiring to be like in sports medicine specifically. The book starts with her landing this fellowship that she didn't initially get. She was kind of brute. She was like bummed she didn't get this fellowship. She gets a call that someone dropped out, and she was in on the wait list, and she was next. So she gets added to the Jacksonville Rays, a brand new hockey team in Jacksonville, Florida. And so she's super stoked. This is like a great new thing for her because she had gone through some heartbreak. She's kind of in a sad place, and she's excited.
She needs this as a new start for her, an
She needs a
anus
fresh
start.
start. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, a fresh start.
So she's excited. She lands, and she's like, she's figuring this thing out. And what's super funny is she previously had this one night stand that was incredible, and that is mentioned. Like her and her friend talk about it within, I think, in the first chapter. Her and her friend talk about this, and it's just like this guy, mystery guy, and it was in Seattle, and they had this wonderful time. She has not gotten over it. So she lands in her new job, and guess who's there? Mystery Man.
Mystery man.
Mystery Man.
Mystery meat.
Mystery Meat was there. And the best part about this is me and Hiram both listened to the book, and in the audiobook, it actually included the prequel, which is called That One Night, and it actually made the book better, in my opinion. So you get the
Big time.
description of them meeting, her not getting the fellowship, how they met, and the feelings that happened, and the wonderful, amazing sex that they had. That was like chapters long. It was wild.
Yeah,
And then you
11,
get
12
into the
chapters.
yeah,
And it opens. It starts as a cute little rom com, and you're
yeah.
like, oh, this is gonna be
This is so
fun.
fun, so
You
bubbly.
know, they are like, they're getting dirty and sexy and sassy, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And
And
then it
then
changes a little bit.
it changes like real fast, and it stays there for the whole novella. Um, it was good to have that prequel though. If anyone hasn't read it yet, you probably shouldn't listen to this podcast, but I'd say read the prequel and then go through it. It makes it a lot better read. But
or
oh yeah,
or listen and decide if you want to read it after this, because you and I are both we both have English degrees, so we are qualified. We're very qualified gentlemen to talk about words and language and sentences all put together. So
indeed.
you might come out of this and decide to read it or
I
not
think
to.
I like that take. That's absolutely what should happen. Okay, so meets mystery guy. She also meets this new guy named Caleb.
As is life, when you meet Mr. Right, you also meet Mr. potentially other right.
Mr. Other Right,
Mr. Left.
Mr.
You
Left,
meet right and Mr. Left at the
and
same time.
he is just this dreamy beach bum that you just can't resist. And he's quirky. He has a cute dog. He drives a jeep. He's got it all. Dude's got it all. He's working with her. Okay, and then we find out these two are best friends.
And
What do we
that's
have?
Caleb.
Caleb, who is
Sorry, I
the
don't think
surfer.
we've given them
Who's her
names
name?
yet. Caleb, who's a surfer, and then Jake.
Jacob. He goes by Jake. Is the hockey player that she met in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad you call out the names. I'm kind of skipping through and going to the characters, but Jake is mystery boy from Seattle. Caleb is surfer boy that she meets working with the Jacksonville Rays. They both
And they're
happen to be best
besties.
friends. Yeah, both happen to be
Yeah,
best friends.
they could be like you and me.
Yeah,
Or
absolutely,
just
absolutely.
maybe, you know?
Um, but yeah, like let's continue with the story, and it will. He's getting it. Well, we'll see. Uh,
We'll find very quickly, not you and me, in fact.
but through a whirlwind of emotions, this potentially two relationships become the same relationship, and we have Jake, the original love story, Caleb, this new element come in, and they kind of are like, we're going to do this. This is a threesome. We're going to be together. It's going to be great. They move in together. And then Rachel finds this other guy named Ilmari Kinanen.
Kinonen.
Kinanen. He is not Swedish. Where is he from?
He is Swedish.
Yeah, Swedish. Yes, because he's
Uh,
not a Viking.
yeah, yeah. And they are technically all four of them on the same hockey team on the Rays. Ilmari is the goalkeeper, arguably most important. Jake is plays defense. I don't know
He's the
any of
team
the.
captain as well.
Was he? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know any of the defense positions. I
Me
apologize.
neither. I think it just says defense, though. It doesn't really give him a position, I think.
Back half of the ice. And then the Caleb is equipment manager. Poor Caleb, but he used to be a professional hockey player. So like, don't diminish him. Don't see him as any less. And then obviously Rachel is one of the doctors for the team, one of the sports medicine doctors, and she actually specializes in like hips and knees and joints and shit like that.
And that's really what got her connected to Ilmari, or Mars is his nickname. The players call him Mars. He has this like secret injury that he's hiding, and she kind of like makes him comfortable, and he opens up to her and lets her know that he has this injury, and then like that's where the interest kind of comes in. That's how they kind of like secretly start working together, and then fall in love as well.
It's it's a groin injury, the sexiest of all injuries.
The
It is the
sexiest of
most.
all injuries.
It is the most intimate of injuries. Even if I would say, even beyond a prolapsed anus, the groin injury is the sexiest.
Oh my gosh. It's absolutely true. And so the wild thing is like this is all happening within a season, like a hockey season.
I feel like most of it happens within the first two or three games,
In the
and
preseason.
then then it jumps very quickly to
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty
the
wild
end of the
how
season.
fast this relationship goes.
And
Uh,
actually, hold on, they don't talk about their season at all. They don't. We don't know how they did in the season. We only, and I'm not going to spoil your synopsis, but we only get this. We only get to hear about the Olympics. We don't hear anything about the Rays' season. Yeah,
no, there's a game there's I think it's the like I think it's the ending game. And do you remember Caleb's arch nemesis, the guy who injured him, is in
But
that game?
is that for the Stanley Cup though? But no, I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
just for the Stanley
I
Cup.
think
You're
that's
right.
just
It's just a
like
game. There's just another
a
game.
game. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe you're
it's the
right.
game to determine whether Ilmari
It goes
is
to the
going to
Olympics.
be on the no finish the Olympic team. There it is. He's a Finn.
He's Finn. He's Finnish, not Swedish. Good call.
Mhm.
Yes, that's. I think you're right. It's like starts about the whole team and the Rays, and then it switches
Yeah.
to El Murray getting to Olympics.
Yeah,
Then the
and
Finn
we've and
going.
that's where the book. Sorry to
Yeah,
jump for you.
yeah.
That's where the book ends, but we have no idea what the team, like how well the Rays did, which I actually I would have liked to
I'd
have
like to
known.
know.
It's a
Well,
brand new
what
team. Did
it needs to
they?
like we can like tie up the synopsis with like Rachel's having this budding relationship with these three guys. They're playing hockey. They're figuring out the complexity of having a polyamorous relationship. And Rachel has a very like specific past. She's the daughter of a rock star. She kind of had a very, early stage in life. And that's why she chose to be a doctor, more or less, to be like, I'm going to change, turn her around, and do this now. And now she's also polyamorous. So she's nervous about what the world will do to these three guys who she cares for very deeply, but is scared to ruin their lives. So there's
Yeah.
that angst.
Early on, she talks about and she says about herself. It's like she's been through like rehab. She's had all these problems before 18,
Yeah, before, yeah,
and
really
then
young, really
at
young.
like she's been engaged and she tried to elope. She did all these things before 18, and essentially 18 then is when she got her life together, went to medical school, and like then that's where we pick up with Rachel
Yeah,
Price.
exactly. So like, yeah, and I think that's what towards the end of the story you get to see her fear is that she had so much in her life, like hiding from paparazzi because her dad's a rock star. Her brother is gay and was ousted by the paparazzi, not by himself. So like there's a lot of like the public can ruin a relationship kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Her brother's story is sad and painful, and because a lot of it's like because her dad is so famous, like in high school, a sex tape of his leaks, and it's a gay sex tape,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
that's how he like is found out, and it is like obviously paparazzi runs with it, and it's a huge thing. And I mean, I guess he must have been 18, so I guess the tail end of high school. I don't
Must well, I
know.
think it was college. I think you're right. It was in college.
In college maybe.
I think
Yeah.
it was college.
So I mean, whatever it is, like awful, terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Rough
that is a
experience for the whole
yeah,
family and especially him. Yeah. So like, yeah, she has this whole like past that kind of like is holding her back from being a public person, and I think that's like it ties into the story a little bit. And then they get together and go to the Olympics, and they're a happy family.
disappointingly so. Disappointingly so.
There's
I,
lots of turns that could have done, but
too
that's what's
happy.
wild is like it's one hockey season, and we don't even know if we finish the hockey season or not. It's one hockey season plus an Olympic run, and that's the story essentially. Is yeah, woman becomes doctor of a team, falls in love with three guys. They end up figuring out how to work out together, and they play hockey along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's the whole story.
yep, we can end it here.
Done.
Cut it. Now let's get to the real stuff. The real
The
stuff.
where I would say 50, at least 50% of the book lies, and that is spread eagle in many different ways on many different services with
Yes.
multiple partners.
Yes. And I think it was when we like the theory we've kind of like put together is that the story is actually pushed through the sex scenes more than the actual narrative. Because like the narrative is almost lacking. You almost don't get any information. Like we don't even like it's not memorable. Like I don't
We don't
remember a lot
know.
of the stuff that happened with to the team, the other players, but the sex scenes are so vivid and like actually to like build the characters.
Yeah, I mean, right. We were just saying you don't know how the Rays finished the season, or if they did finish the season. We don't
Does the Rays
know
exist?
their standing. Yeah, we don't know their standing. We don't know if the Rays exist even. Um, but like, and I said this to you as we were reading it, as my head was in your lap and you're reading to me. Sorry. Um, I said, "Good Lord, what's poking in the back of my head?" Um, sorry, I said the like the novella that it opens with is like 12, 13 chapters. Let's say it's 13. 12 of those chapters is one sex scene.
A singular sex scene.
One is one night, and not even the full night. It is a small portion of the night, and that is representative of the entire book. In that, like, you will go you will go upwards of 10 chapters. Okay, audible chapters. I'm sorry. Like, it's a stupid how that works, but
Nonetheless, like it's not a thin book. Like this is
no,
a meaty book.
it's
No pun
so
intended.
long. It is so long.
It is. And like not even a hockey season went by. Like time is so wild. It's such a compressed amount of time. And it's like the story part is compressed and the sex part is expanded. And
Big
time, like
time.
it's different. It's like, yeah, you're living in a warped time zone.
But this is what makes I would assume this is what makes it a true like dirty smutty book in that like there is some story and like it's not awful there it's there but
There's an arc. Yeah.
it plays this like a backseat or it's in the backseat to the smut to like these wild sex scenes and
This is what we
that's
wanted. This is what this is about. So I'm pretty stoked now that I've like read some not so smutty books. I'm like, this is just a book. Like, yeah, I'm not even blushing, bro. Now I'm like, okay, I'm like sweating a little bit. I'm adjusting my collar. Like, this is the kind of book I was looking for.
yeah, this is the book where you pull up to a stoplight and if you're listening a little too loud, like I'm hard of hearing, so I like listen kind of loud.
It just,
And I just yeah, when I get to a stoplight, I'm like, just turn this down just a little bit. I don't want people to hear this. Okay.
like,
It
I'm going
is
to like travel soon and I'm going to like read this in public, like have it in public and see if anyone talks to me. I'm going to do it. I'm
God,
gonna try. I'm
I
so
love it.
excited. I hope someone walks up to me and is like, I can't believe you're reading that. What do you think about it? Like, it's going to be a positive interaction. I know.
I want your first response to be I'm gonna get myself a Jacob's ladder is what I'm gonna do.
Convinced to get a Jacob's ladder. Oh, that's exactly the only response, I think. The only response. But let's dive into these sex scenes.
Yeah.
Let's talk through like this trajectory of this relationship through these sex scenes because I think it was a powerful thing that we kind of discovered along the way is how
Yeah.
these characters developed in the way they had sex and the way they have this relationship.
Yeah. So truth be told, we did actually already talk a lot about this book. This is our second time talking about it. Um, but the culmination of us talking about it before is, and this is I'll credit to you because this is brilliant. Was like we got to this point where it was like there is such little story outside of the sex out of the sex scenes and there's so much there and there's so much diversity actually within the sex scenes and there's so many different things happening in all of them and there is some like clear progression there's
Yeah.
very clear progression that happens that it's like maybe this is written in such a way that it's like the sex scene is the story like that's actually where you get the evolution of your characters and you get to understand them deeply and like what their motivations are and like that's where they become 3D.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's so weird because like you said, this is the second time we talked about it. The first time it was like, bro, they're just fucking like it was like you're just like, oh, there's ticks everywhere. Like you don't know what is going on. But then you take a breath and then you're like, oh wow, what a beautiful story. There's layers to it, and I think it's nice that we're coming back to it because like I do feel differently about it now than I did initially. Where I was just like bro, Jacob Ladder's fucking purple tentacles. Il Murray doesn't have a refractory period. Like, there's just so much getting thrown at you.
There's so much.
And so you're just like, oh. I've never read a sex book before. So it was like it was wild. But now I'm like, okay, look, there's so much here. So that's what I'm excited about. Is like we can talk about both sides of this, which is one is like,
Yeah.
bro, there's a straight fucking, and then the other one is like, but what happened to the character, which I think is
Yeah.
a very nice balance.
Yeah. Like I feel like this is I reached it within this book the level that my therapist is at when she hears me explain my life to her, where she can kind of dissect it, and be like, "Here's what's going on. Here's here's
Whoa,
here's what you're
whoa. Here's
here's what
what
you have going on." She can cut through all
just
the
peel
crazy
back
and
these
is like,
layers.
"Yeah, yeah,
I like that. Well,
I feel
actually let's.
clinical."
I think we should jump into that. Is you had a great theory about the types of attachments.
And this is not from my therapist. This is all me.
This is
All
all.
right.
This is all
This is
Hiram. This is best bud Hiram action.
um I had this today as I was re-listening to some of the sex scenes, and truth be told, you unless you have a like more than half of a day, like let's say you took the day off from work, then you could do this. You could then listen to all of the sex scenes, even at 2 times speed. um I only got through, 1/3 of them.
It's there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, but going from like start to finish, you like I was saying, like there is progression, there's an arc, and there's a lot of change that happens. And one of the things that stuck out to me is the way that Rachel describes like her feelings, her emotions, her experiences, and then what she is receiving from each of these guys. And she starts with Jake because Jake, number one, like she has sex with him in Seattle and in the novella. But he's also the first one that she has a sexual interaction with, and that's over FaceTime.
It's
Um,
yeah, FaceTime.
and FaceTime sex, which is good. Everyone should try it. You should be do it. Um,
And it was an
it,
apology too. It was like a weird apology sex. Like
it was,
they're like
it
rude
was.
to each other, or she was rude, I think. Yeah, she was rude. And she
And
was
she's
like,
like, here. She sent pictures of her breasts,
yep.
and was like, "This is my apology," and then called, and somehow he was like, "What are you doing? I can hear you. Like, what? Where's your other hand? Like, I know you're holding the phone on one hand, but where's the other hand?"
Yeah.
And he sussed it out.
He was keen. He had a keen eye,
Yeah,
keen ear.
he converted it to sex
Yep.
or FaceTime.
Wasn't it in like a public place and like he went to the bathroom and rubbed one out?
Yep. Yeah.
That's
So they
this
were
is what
at they
see,
were
this
at
is
dinner.
this is sex scene one. And like
Yeah,
what the fuck? It's like
they were at dinner,
at
and
dinner.
I took these notes actually, and Rachel, as she's sending these things, thinks about Caleb sitting next to Jake, and that like potentially, and I think Jake actually says like, "Whoa, I have to like, what if Caleb sees?" And she's like, "Why am I turned on by
I'm
that?"
not like that. Yeah, yeah.
So she intros it there, and then he goes to the bathroom, and then they FaceTime, and then um yeah, then they both climax, and like
They timed it perfectly right. Like only in a fantasy book could that happen.
yeah, because as soon as he comes, it was like,
It was
"Hey,
explosive.
what are you doing? Stop shitting in there."
What are you doing?
He's like, "I'm not shitting, I'm coming."
I'm not shitting. I'm coming.
Yeah. So that okay, hold on. So that's
Yeah.
the first one, and I didn't get any of this insight that I'm building to. I didn't get any of it there. Sorry. Um, it's this is the next one, and it's because so they've had two big wins. They actually had two shutouts, right? The Rays did. And then they go out and they celebrate, and they're at a club, and Rachel defends Caleb from his crazy ex-girlfriend. And like there's a very like I don't know, it's kind of like a sexy scene because she pretends to be his new girlfriend. She's on his lap and rubbing up against him. Yeah. And like does this thing where she saves him, right? And then they get past that and they're like, let's go dance. And there's a moment of choice where Caleb's like, oh shit, who is she going to choose?
Yeah, yeah.
And he's really down on himself. And he's like, she's gonna obviously choose Jake because
Yep.
he's
And this is
the
his
actual
friend, so he cares too. So it's like not just a straight competition. It's like
yeah.
but it's not like a competition against his friend. He cares about him and he cares about her. So it's like very complex.
Yeah. Yeah. I this is I don't want this to be weird, but I could imagine myself in this, just this part, not the next part, with you.
Well, that's it. And part of reading these books, sorry, I'm going to interject this whole piece, is like putting yourself into a character. And that's one of the pieces that, like, when I started reading this book, I was like, I'm Jake. And I think this will lead into kind of what you're saying too, which is like the types of, or I don't want to interrupt. Keep going, keep going.
You're like, oh no, I'm not Jake.
I don't know if I'm that.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. But no, I like where you could be like, ah, shit, she's gonna choose one of us, and like he's like, she's gonna choose him because he's awesome and amazing, and like yada yada yada. But she chooses both of them very, and she like it makes it very clear. She intentionally chooses both because, and you actually gave this the chapter, this scene set of chapters a name.
Yes. So the name of this sex encounter is called Ham in a Hockey Player Sandwich. It's so funny every time. And like it's in like she says that. She's like, I feel like a ham in a hockey player sandwich. And this scene is actually one that I think we you could just unpack for we could probably talk about this one forever because like there's so much that happens. Because like that dynamic. So first it's on the dance floor, right? They're like dancing and they're like, "Oh, we're all here. It's hot. It's whatever." Then they go to this like closet to go do the deed because she chose both of them.
They go to the stairwell first, and they're because they're like they are can't contain themselves, and they start hooking up in the stairwell, and there's a moment of freak out because the bouncer's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here!
Hey, you crazy kids, get out of here!
Put your dick away, sir!" And they're like, "Oh, geez, we like paparazzi could have seen us."
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because they bring up the paparazzi there, and it's like there was no indication of any of that. And they're like,
Anyone
"Oh my
cared about
god,
that?
that was so scary." We like, and there's a moment where Jake is like blocking Rachel, like, "Oh, like I got her, she's safe. The paparazzi can't see her." Yeah, but don't mind my friend's dick that's out. And it is a little ridiculous, but so it leads into it, and so then they very quickly find a broom closet, which is at every club. I don't know, like
Open
I've
classes, pretty normal.
often stumbled into a broom closet when I'm out, and like, oh,
This
how
would be
did
a
I
great
find
spot to have a
this?
threesome.
Weird that there's like cuffs against the wall there. What do you use this for?
What is this for?
It's for Rachel, Jake, and Caleb, and that they go in there and they have threesome. Interestingly, I missed this on the first read when I reread this. It is revealed that Jake and Caleb have shared women before in
Yeah.
college,
Yeah. So this
and
isn't their
that
first, yeah, shared woman encounter.
yeah, not at all, and that Caleb likes to watch,
Yeah.
and Jake, I guess, likes to have Caleb watch. And Caleb has this role where he likes to tell Jake what to do.
And like it comes up again in another scene, but in this one, it's like it's a little more like fast and loose because like I think it's the first one, and they end up like tying Jacob's hands behind his back and like hanging
Caleb,
up.
Caleb's hands.
Caleb's hand, my bad. Jacob's or Jake is the one doing the deed, and
Yeah.
Caleb's telling them what to do. So he's like
Mm-hmm.
tied up, hands tied, telling them what actions to take.
Yeah. Well, Rachel says, right, she ties him up loosely, and she's like, I get, he's such a strong man. He could get out of this anytime. But she's like, as long as you're tied up, you can only tell us what to do. You can't participate.
Yeah, don't interact.
And so Caleb's telling what to do. Jake fucks Rachel from behind. And this obviously then leads into, well, I guess I shouldn't say obviously, but this leads into an Eiffel Tower. And if you don't know what an Eiffel Tower is, that is two men, one woman, and that is one man fucking the girl from behind, and the other girl, and the girl then filleting, sucking the dick of the guy in front. And you're supposed to then hold hands,
To
like
dig that.
hands together
I'm doing
over
it right now.
this. Stop it. I told you it would not be your Jake or your Caleb. Sorry. Sadly, I think I would
Caleb?
be Caleb. I would be Caleb in the
You're Caleb. I'm
relationship.
Jake for sure. Like for sure. Like to jump into like I think I don't know if you mentioned already, but like the types of attachment.
This is what we're getting to.
Yeah.
Sorry, and I did such a
This
poor
ties
job
right
because
into it. That's why I'm
I
like,
got caught up in I got so
that's
caught up
that's
in
what I'm
this.
saying. Like
Anyways,
there's two layers. There's the like, dude, they're fucking, and then there's like, wow, what does this mean to the character?
it's so hard not to get stuck in the dude they're fucking layer.
Yeah.
Because it one like it's sure it's sexy and spicy and like it's funny and but it is really easy to stay there and like
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's entertaining. It is
It's pure
very entertaining.
entertainment. Like you could just stay there at that level and enjoy the book. Like it's funny. It's sexy. It's all those things at the top layer. But there's
Yeah.
another layer.
And I would love to think, and like you actually implanted this into my brain.
Eiffel Tower
I
is
started to go
amazing.
there. Oh God. You implanted this of like maybe like there could be something deeper here, and maybe Emily is this mastermind of an author. And what I got to eventually, and this is from the first couple of sex scenes, is that I feel like each of these men and the relationship that Rachel has with them represents an attachment style because the way that and this happens by chapter I want to say I'm looking at my notes 41 is when I start to get this because Rachel and Caleb have sex. So this is after the club. The three of them have been together. They've established that the three of them want to have a relationship, a throuple. But then Caleb and Rachel have sex on their own. And Rachel's talking about Caleb in a very specific way of like he's dark and brooding. He understands my pain. He sees me for me. I know I can be the real I can share these parts of me with him. He gets it because he is broken and hurt and all these things too, right? And you and I talked a little bit, and it's like maybe this is disorganized and a fearful avoidant.
And like he even calls her
Um,
hurricane, which like I feel like ties into it more, which is like he's just a
yeah,
disorganized attachment.
yeah. And then Jake, they're like that same night, they go back to Jake's house, and Jake is like looks at both of them as like, "You two been fucking. I know it." Meanwhile, he has a pizza that he just put in the oven. That is very important because then he's like, he gets, it's super interesting. Jake is like the golden retriever, and I would say he's the anxious attachment. And let me just say, like, I'm a very needy person. So if I say these things, know that
We
I'm not
all exhibit
judging.
these pieces of
Yeah.
like negative attachment. We all have it.
And know that I'm not judging. Like I'm a very needy person. I want to be told that you love me and you miss me and you need me. All these things. So no judgment. Okay. To Jake, to Emily, to anyone. Okay. But he's very needy. But then there's this kind of interesting side where he's very like he wants to compete. He's super competitive, and so he's like he knows that because of the previous scene, he knows that Caleb has a Jacob's ladder, which is multiple piercings, bar piercings in your penis. And I did confirm this time 4 piercings, 4 rungs on Jacob's ladder.
So I also looked for that too. I was like, because last time we talked, I was like, there's they don't say how many, like how many are there? Are there a billion of them? It's four.
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 There's 4. Enough to climb. That's enough to climb.
It's
It's
more than a step.
like I was gonna say it's kind of like a step ladder, but you know what? You can
It's like
get
right
somewhere with.
between. It's like step ladder is like three. This is one
You
more,
can,
so it's like it's a little ladder.
you can get to a dangerous place with 4 rungs. You can really hurt yourself
You
on
can
it.
hurt yourself before.
3, it's more of like it's like a step stool for children to brush their teeth when they're young.
Brush your teeth with this. Oh, that's perfect. That's
Okay,
perfect.
so Jake, anxious attachment. Caleb, the disorganized, fearful, avoidant attachment. And then spoiler, or I guess not spoiler because you already talked about it. Ilmari. We think he's the avoidant or
Yeah.
dismissive attachment.
Yeah.
And then the thing is like what's super interesting is that Rachel very clearly gets something different and unique from each of them. And like it I was gonna say fills a different hole, but fills a different part
Yeah,
of
it really
her.
fills a different hole.
Um like she is fulfilled in a different way with each of them. And together they make like that secure attachment. the three men together, and Rachel, they're securely attached.
which is like that's actually like a very cool story. Um, there's these like four broken people that are all broken in different ways with different paths, and somehow they find this way to like create a whole. Which like that's the layer beneath, right? Where you're like, oh wow, like
Mm-hmm.
there's actually a story here, and we can actually like talk about that outside of just like this wild sex crazed book, which is
And honestly, we need it though, because also there's just no story even beyond
you
beyond
have to
that.
do the work to find the story. This isn't spoon feeding a story. We're not spoon feeding it to you. You gotta work with
This
the
is
story.
purple tentacle dildoed.
That's that's my favorite.
I
And
don't know.
here's my like so like I'll just do the up to purple tentacle. So first one is phone sex apology. We already talked about that. Second one, sex scene is ham in a hockey player sandwich, which that's when the Jacob ladder gets revealed. I think the
Mhm.
anxious attachment gets revealed too, because the reason why Caleb is tied up and doing the talking and Jake's doing the action is that she's reassuring him that she's her guy. Because Jake's like, do you even like me? You want him instead of me? Like he gets super like spun
He
up on
does.
like, I don't even know if this is real.
He
Like,
get
oh,
he even gets freaked out by the Jacob's ladder, and he's like, "Is that better than my
that's
dick?"
better than his dick's better than mine. He has metal. Like he everything freaks him out. Like he's super anxious about it. He needs reassurance. And she actively like she picks up on this attachment stuff so quick. She's reading between the lines. She's like, hey boy, you're tied up. You can only tell us what to do. So like she like controls his disorganization by giving him a mission, and then takes the other one as like, hey, you're in charge. Like you're doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm choosing you. And so it's like a really wild, like she's so good at reading these guys and then putting them into like power plays, power positions, if you will. And like they're able to interact with each other really well.
She fulfills a very different need in all their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she understands what Jake needs. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jake is very successful, very powerful. Lots of money.
Mhm.
He has all of these men have insane bodies and big
They
dicks,
have to. They have to.
with Ilmari having the
The
biggest and the
biggest
baddest,
sausage.
with infinite ammo. But like she understands each of their needs and fulfills something very unique and special for each of them as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which I think is important, right? I'd only described it one way, which I don't think that's fair
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
doesn't
It is
give
definitely both
her
ways.
character
Yeah.
justice.
Because I think like there's a couple of middle scenes that are like where there's a little bit of off with this narrative that we're painting right now, where she gets a little weird, they get a little weird with each other. I think the story doesn't do a good. This is where I would critique a little bit. The story doesn't do a good job like smoothing that out for me. But like you know, maybe the next book will have it. But I don't know. It's really weird because like so we have
Yeah.
the ham sandwich. We have the one that you described, which is Surfer Boy in Free Fall, where he's like he's the broody, disorganized guy. She comes in and like is able to like bring him back down to earth, and they have this wonderful time together. It really validates him as a main character, not an accessory, right? Like he sees
Yeah.
himself as this accessory, and she's like, no, you're. They have this one-on-one scene for that reason, I think. Like
Mm-hmm.
if she didn't have this scene, he would be an accessory the whole book. I feel like so that was an important sex scene for character development. And then the tentacle scene comes after that. And this scene is the scene of the book. Like like this is the only scene. If you're only going to talk about one scene, it's the tentacle scene, and
Can you give us
I love
some?
it for me. It's the tentacle scene.
Can you give a little play by play? What happens
Well,
in the
first,
tentacle scene?
the tentacle comes in earlier in the book, like chapter like 5. She's getting picked up at the airport, meeting Caleb for the first time. Her bag opens up, and a giant purple tentacle dildo falls out, and he picks it up, and she's like, "Oh no!" She's like,
It's
"It's not
like
being
a.
used." And yeah,
She's like, "Don't worry, that's clean. Wow, where did that come
yeah.
from? What
Oh
the
my god,
hell?"
it was a prank. It comes back later here in this chapter, and they're like, she's like, "Yeah, I used it tons of time." No, no, no. Here's how it comes out. They're having sex together, right? And it's like more intimate than it's been in the past. They're both having sex with her. It's more like united front there. That'll come back. Um, and with the tentacles specifically, she's like, I'm trying to remember how it got to the tentacle part, but like they're having sex and they pull out the tentacle, and he says, "What's your favorite setting? I know you have one." She's like, "What do you mean? No," and then she's like, "It's two, it's number two." And so they describe it. It's like it starts with like a side to side motion, and she's like, "No, two," and she hits it twice, and then it goes like, "It's an undulating motion now, and that's her favorite." And so then the joke goes,
Both.
"You have used this before. It wasn't clean. Like at the airport, I touched it. You're dirty too." There's a little joke in there with the tentacles. So they're doing like here's the part I'm trying to get to as fast as I can. They do two P's, one V in this scene. And
Oh, this is that scene.
this is
This is
that
that
scene.
scene.
This is that
Okay.
scene. Because like that's
This
why this is the scene.
okay. Anatomically, I don't think this works
It doesn't work.
because both Caleb and Jake are described as having big dicks.
Yes, they're
Girthy.
well
Like
decorated.
not just
Not a Costco hot dog.
Jesus Christ, not a Costco hot dog? Is that not girthy?
Maybe I haven't had a Costco hot dog in a while.
With or without the bun,
With or
maybe.
without-
Jesus.
oh, with the bun. Whoa, whoa. Regardless of a
these are
Costco hot dog size.
these are Dodger dogs with the bun.
Dogs with the bun.
Yeah, yeah, big men.
So first off, it's just the like fitting into the vessel is one thing. The second one for me, this is the part where I was like doing the mental math. Like I was like, oh man, their balls, where do they go? I don't. That's the part I don't get. Because like if you're doing two like traditional DP, traditional double penetration, your balls are touching. There's space. There is the gooch. There's the taint.
Is essentially two chandeliers that do touch, they tap, right?
Yeah.
It's like you've got two chandeliers that are too close in an earthquake, and
They're just gonna
they're
click,
gonna
click, click. I
yeah
get that. Understand. I can totally do the math there. There's no space here.
yeah. Okay, I mean, to your earlier image, this is two Costco hot dogs in one bun.
Yes, yes.
Like,
And not a Costco bun, like a regular bun you got from a regular grocery store.
yeah, just your shitty local bread dealer, tiny bun.
It's just a piece of bread. It's not even a hot dog bun. It's not going to work.
No, and so I mean, clearly,
Well, clearly.
like two dicks are sliding against each other. But yeah, then the ball. Yeah, no, I, I mean, I imagine like not. I'm trying to imagine like I don't just the bodies. Where I forget about the balls and
Bodies.
like what about the rest of the body?
Well, I think
They're big ass hockey players.
they're so I mean, like we have to talk about it. Like they're for sure scissoring, and then she's sitting down on top of him because she comes down on him.
Yeah.
So they're like because they're not like this. They have to be overlapping legs. They're full scissor.
Or legs over legs. But yeah, it's like then I mean whoever it's like legs over legs over legs.
Because like they it couldn't be like leg. It couldn't be like one on top, like sitting on laps. It'd have to be
Or legs back. That's what I initially. This is.
I feel like your hip
We
would
need.
be too curved for legs back.
Yeah, that was like I originally was like, is it legs back? Like they both are legs back? No way.
There's no way. There's no way. Like I thought about the scene way too much. Like way too much. I like it was just so. It's such a like new concept for me. I like it was wild because like I still don't fully understand how it would work. And you are squished to the max. Like your balls are squished. Your penis is squished. He's got a Jacob's ladder. You're getting a rash. You're getting some friction problems there.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild. And like,
Well, Jake does talk about feeling the Jacob's ladder.
He likes it.
And that did like it made him come right away.
You know who else talked about the feeling Jacob's ladder? Mars did. Because they did traditional DP, and he's like, I can feel it through her. And I think he liked it.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're leaving out my favorite scene of the entire book.
This is perfect.
Where so this is much later. I don't know. I wish I had the chapter for you guys. But Ilmari Kinnunen, I love calling him Kinnunen. I don't know why. He sees Caleb's dick and Jacob's ladder for the first time, and it's like the most non homosexual way. It's like, hold up, can I touch that? Like, let me touch that dick. That's some crazy shit. I want to like put that in my
Well,
hands.
dude, this scene is another one that's like this is number two. Like if 2P1V is number one, this is number two. Because here's the backstory to that scene. Il Murray's like now they like kind of they've traveled, they've kind of confessed their love a little bit, and he's not sure how he feels about this, but he's like, I'm gonna give it a shot. So he comes over to the three other houses to have dinner.
No, no, no. The three of them, one house,
Yeah, three of them in one house.
the shared house.
So Jake, Caleb, and Rachel live in one house. Ilmar's coming over to like see if this works for him. They're making dinner, and so like Jake's the cook, he's out grilling, and they're in the kitchen, and Caleb's like, "We're gonna figure this out right here, right now." And he walks up to Rachel and starts just, you know, going down on her, and like
It's intense because he pulls her pants down like this is a very very intense intimate scene
well, it's a very like
of like
aggressive scene because he's like, look at me, look what I'm doing. Are you cool with
breaking
this?
boundaries and like Rachel's okay. Not I mean Rachel's good with it, obviously,
Yeah,
but there are times where it's like she's kind of like, oh shit, I'm a little scared, like, and she's scared for how
they're gonna,
uh
yeah,
Keenan is going to react.
yeah,
But Caleb is very much like, this is like,
yeah. Well, I
I'm
feel like
going to
Keenan is
show
very
you
much
what I do to this girl.
she's like, she let it ride here a little bit because she almost doesn't say anything. And he's like, are you down with this? I like, look what I'm doing to her. Like, are you cool with this?
Yeah.
And Keenan's like unsure at this time. They're bullying him right now.
They are.
They're
They
fully
are. They
bullying him.
are. They really are. And this actually that leads into a topic in this book that I think is super important. And like, again, the books are meant to be fun. They're meant to be like you suspend
I
some
agree.
reality, right? Like I get that. So, like
Yeah.
don't worry. There's an element here of like consent that is really really not healthy, where there is no consent,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of forced interaction, and like if you want me, and Rachel does it to all three of them, maybe not Caleb, but she does it, I want to say, to all of them, of like, if you're with it, like if you love me, you are gonna suck this other dick. If you
Yes.
love me,
Yes.
you're gonna be okay with these two dudes fucking me at the same time.
Yeah.
If you love me, we're gonna do this as four people together.
Yeah.
And
It is a strange, like, again, like you're right. It is supposed to be a light, fun topic, but the consent part gets weird in a couple of scenes. This being one of them, where he like Caleb goes in, he's super aggressive. He's like, "This is what it takes to love her. Like, this is what it means to be in a relationship with us. It's not you and her, it's us." Right? And so,
yeah,
that's where the lighthearted part is. He pulls out the Jacob's ladder, and he's like that de-escalates it. I feel like he pulls out the
it
Jacob's
does,
ladder, and
because
Bob's like,
Caleb,
"Oh boy, what? This guy,
yeah,
cyber."
and
Like,
there's a moment of like, whoa, are you into dicks? And he's like, you don't have to be gay to want to see what the hell's going on with this freaky deaky penis.
I love. He says it so flat. He's like, "Bro, you don't have to be gay to like this. Like, look at this thing. It's got bars in it."
Yeah, yeah. He's like, I love that. That was I cackled and was like, all right, this book might be for me.
It was so
With that
funny.
scene.
And then the next like scene pretty quickly is also hilarious because Jake's coming back and he's like, "I've got steaks," and he's like, "Why are you talking about touching my boy's dick?" Like he's not even mad about Rachel, right? Like Rachel, whatever. My boy, that's my boy. Don't touch his boy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he has a very, let's say, like coming of age, like gay moment of like
Yes.
he gets jealous of seeing this huge bear of a man, which, like,
Beautiful bear.
Keenan is called the bear, who's, yeah, it's supposed to be so beautiful. And he gets so jealous that he's holding or like touching Caleb's dick, and is like that interaction is happening.
It's funny and like so much like non-consensual in this like people are getting bullied. Two people are getting bullied. I
Yeah.
think you could see it because it happens in other scenes. Caleb and Rachel are bullies. Like this
Yeah.
bully nature comes out of them, and they push the other two. And I think it's because of their attachment style. Like the anxious one needs to be pushed to do things, and then the avoidant one needs to be like brought in. And
Hmm.
bullying works apparently. But it's why because like the funny thing about this scene too is imagining how he touches his penis. Because like, is it flaccid, and is he doing like the like cigarette upside down? Like, is he like grabbing it as if you were peeing? Is it like a or like a classic cigarette, like two fingers like this? Did he snip snip? That seems inappropriate. You don't do a snip snip. I think it's this. I think it's a
Oh,
pincer.
no way, bro.
I
This
think
is
the
like a squish like this. This is like a
whole handle
yep. Yeah, it's like a stress
he
ball.
handled
Like,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
it is not a
It's
no
not
two
this. So look,
fingers.
how I pictured it was kind of like almost like he flipped it over and was like, "Whoa."
He's like honking a like a clown's nose. No way,
No,
bro.
I think
No
you're. I'm
way.
like, dude, this feels. This feels like you're more than
That feels more masculine. This is hilarious.
this
So,
is less.
uh, fingers over the top,
Yeah.
and like like your palms on top of it. If it was like this, palm underneath and squished, that feels like, oh, that's
Bro, that's gay.
oh, what are you doing?
You're fine. You're fine. Gay.
Yeah, palm up, palm down. Oh, that's a dangerous one.
Well, this feels like you're doing something like you're in you're in power here. What is this?
Yeah.
You got to
Oh
hold.
yeah.
This is like you're admiring something. So I don't know. I wish they would have described how he held it because how do you touch a dick? Like I don't know how.
I know how. It's like this with
We
my
haven't talked
my
about
palm
touching
is on top. My palm is on top, dog.
palm on top all day. Oh, that's so funny. But since we're already on the consent topic, I feel like we should talk about the other consent scene, which is Jake
Oh,
doing fully.
this is an intense scene. This is an intense scene, and like, like again, I will never yuck someone's yum.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
you do
yeah.
you, as long as it doesn't involve me. I'm like, we're good. We're good. But because I had to take a break through as halfway through the scene where I was like, "Dude, this is a little too much. This is a little too intense."
This is where I was like, I'm
Um,
not Jake. I'm not Jake.
um, so this is the scene where Jake and Caleb, like, so this whole time they've been hooking up with Rachel. Rachel's the conduit, like to your
Russell
term earlier, the vessel.
Flowers, the
Um,
vessel.
everything's happening to and through Rachel. This is the first scene though where it changes and it becomes Jake and Caleb, and they
This is their
like
first them relationship.
yes, yeah, and Rachel's part of it, but in a weird, non-consensual part of it. No,
Well,
she's. I mean, it's
Jake's
consensual
not
to Caleb. I don't think it is to Jake, but um, Jake's kind of like freaked out and like this moment of this like you need to suck Caleb's dick.
because like they're I don't even remember what the turmoil was, but they're like relationships in some form of turmoil. And
I think actually what like Caleb was kind of freaking out.
yes, yeah. Because
And this was like
the initial
you're not just
scene is them like and she says, fuck me like you hate me to Jacob. He's being like she's
interesting.
like, be aggressive to me at the beginning
Mm.
of that.
What if this is then that like this stretch but trying to establish the secure connection, obviously securely connected to Rachel and Rachel to them, but getting each of them connected securely to each other, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're
Um,
right. Because I think honestly you're right, because that's the 2P1V moment is the teaser to that. Like
where the balls become one.
balls become one and never the two shall untwine. The
Sounds
like
like a
I think
Bible verse. Is that a Bible verse?
it is
Twain one flesh.
twain, twain into one flesh. Like I think that's so she's the vessel, but they're like skin to skin, right? Skin to skin contact. And then the
Yeah,
next scene is this
yeah.
one where we're having this moment where now it's like, hey, you two have a
Ah,
relationship.
see, this is that like what you were saying. You're like that profound idea of like the sex scenes do create the character progression. They do push the story forward
The
in
more
a
you
very
dig, the
unique
more you
way.
see a linear path there.
Yeah. I know, 100%. I like I'm fully bought in. Like if I had a Pulitzer Prize to give, I wouldn't give it necessarily to Emily. I'd give it to you in
For
discovering this
discovering
genius idea,
this. I
which
think,
is God, that's the worst. Hey, good job, Emily.
good job.
Wonderful story and book. Let me give this Pulitzer Prize to the man who discovered it. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry,
Take a
everybody. I'm
woman's
sorry.
prize and give it to
Please,
a man. Amazing. This
please
is a
forgive me.
genre from for women, made by women. Who wins? Guy. Ah, goddamn. That's so.
I'm uninvited. I'm uninvited. Get me out of this. I'm sorry.
This is we're discovering. We're learning. We're here to learn. We're just absorbing information.
Yeah.
It's safe. It's safe space. But like so.
Well, okay.
Oh,
We hold on. We get caught. We're getting caught up, but which is beautiful because the story is, it is fun to read. Like I want people to take that away. Like this is a shitty story, but it's fun to read.
it's a nonstop entertainment ride.
Yeah, it's a page turner, and you got to turn a hell of a lot of pages to get through this one.
Just so many pages.
Meaty. Good lord. So Rachel sets this up of like, you, Jake, need to show Caleb how committed you are, not just to me,
Well, it's
but
a
to him
they have this
in
weird
this
pact in
relationship.
the kitchen where they're like, man, I'm forgetting the phrase, but it was just like no holding back in the kitchen, like in this like shared kitchen area.
Yeah. You go for broke. You're right. I forget the
It's
phrase
like that.
also,
It's
but
like
it is
go for
like
broke, all in, something like that. And
all
so
in. I think it's all in.
all right,
Like
yeah.
you're holding nothing
Yeah.
back,
And so like
and you're like, this is as vulnerable as you get.
yes, and that's what's happened. Like they're saying those words and they're doing this in the sex scene in the kitchen. And so like Caleb's doing his thing, and he's the aggressor now. And
Mm-hmm.
you're in. I think it starts with Caleb, and you're in his story mode, and he's like, "Wow, oh yeah," and then it switches to Rachel, and she's like, "Jake wants to suck his dick,"
Yeah. Yeah. And Jake's kind of hesitant, and she can see that he's a little hesitant and a little
and
scared.
then
And she's
she's
like,
like, "He's scared because he doesn't know how to please them," and I'm like,
yeah,
"What? That's not what's happening.
that's, he's not scared for that reason.
That's not why he's
Yeah.
scared. That's not."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I
That's a face of
visually,
no,
I
I
visually
was going to say,
imagine it like a. Uh, uh,
yeah.
like a hand right here and just like pushing forward.
Well, she does do that. She puts her hand on the back of his head.
He grabs it.
But I was going to say, that's the face of no, of not giving consent. And she's like, no. Let me teach
Let
you.
me
And like,
you.
and you when we first talked about this, you brought it up like it goes so quickly and abruptly from Rachel's perspective to Jake's perspective, and it's like it goes from like her hand on the back of his head of like, here,
No,
you are gonna do
yeah.
this, and I'm teaching you,
It's
and
so
then
hard.
it
Go go. You finish this.
it instantly goes to Jake's perspective, and he's like, I loved it, that was the best
They had
experience
to do that
ever.
because it was so non-consensual, and then it switches to his perspective. He's like, "Oh, thank God, I did it. Like, loved it." And you're like, "Whoa, this turned pretty quick." And this might be like two guys reading a story meant for women, but let me tell you, this is how it would go in this situation. I feel because it was so rough. It was so rough. Because she's like, this is happening. She gets down and she's like, what? This is how you do it, buddy. Your turn. Oh, open wide,
Yeah.
open for the plane. Like it was like
Yeah.
a toddler being fed.
Dude, I like I said, I had to take a break, a little break, because it is intense. It is, and again, like I do whatever you want to do. I don't care. Like I really and truly, if it doesn't like, if you're not doing anything to me, you know,
No yucking yum.
I
No yucking
support
yum.
I support you to do
Well,
anything
I think it
for okay,
wasn't
but
because it's not the gay aspect of it. It was the like felt forced. It felt forced is what was jarring because it's not the homosexuality part. Almost.
it's set up. The thing though is set up that it's like it wasn't
Yeah,
forced,
yeah. It
and
comes in
that
the end.
like
You're like,
this was
oh,
there.
he wanted this the whole time. She helped him overcome this fear and
Yeah.
anxiety. which
So
is
if that's the case, cool.
yeah, yeah, it worked out, and but here's the rest of the story. So like he like goes to they go to completion. He goes to completion, completes inside of Jake, and then she finishes him, and he spits in her mouth, and then she kisses Caleb, and so there's like a swapping of body fluid.
It's That's called a
It's
snowball.
called a snowball. I should have said snowball.
You know, for whatever reason, growing up, you find out these terms, then you're like, let me tell my friends. And so you like in a group of guys, everyone learns something and everyone shares it. And so you learn all these just insane sex terms and acts. I have an insane encyclopedia
Okay,
of these like wild sex terms.
agreed.
I've never done it. Like 98% of them, I know all about them somehow
Well,
though.
this is way off topic, way off topic. But this is pre like internet, pre memes, pre like speed of information. Did you hear the rumor that Marilyn Manson removed his ribs to suck his own dick? How did you hear
Yes.
about that? And how did I hear about that? I
Dude,
grew up
that is
in
an
Dallas, Texas. You were what, in Irvine?
Irvine, Southern California.
How did we both hear the
Urban
same
legend.
rumor?
Urban legend.
Dude, how
And that
does
was
that
the
spread? I don't
greatest
get it. The Pony Express?
uh
Like what was it?
field trips,
Field
you know?
trips.
It's spread through field
There's a
trips
bunch of bad
and
kids talking to each other.
sixth grade overnighters. Somehow those things they make their way across like
That's crazy.
the Appalachian Trail all the way down. Then the PCT on our side, it's like those are information
Those are the
networks.
highways of information. That one has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it's wild how information
Yeah,
travels.
it is wild because that was
Yeah,
pre-internet
that's
days.
pre-internet rumor.
Part.
How's that even possible? Like everyone knew this rumor. That's I don't think it's true, and spread.
And the news wasn't that salacious back then. The news is salacious now. Like that shit could be easily in the news now. It was not like that back then.
No. It wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been. It was a different time of like communication, and it was like
Yeah.
kids telling each other. It's just weird. It was a weird story.
Kids word of mouth. It
Word of mouth.
was actually I have the answer. If you had ever done Bloody Mary in the bathroom, she appeared and she would give this disgusting dirty gossip. And she would be like, Marilyn
So
Manson sucks his own dick.
he removed Rich to suck his own dick.
Oh god.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. But so this is the most jarring part of the book, I think. This scene.
100%.
It's
Yeah,
both.
100%.
It's Mars, Ilmari, Keenanen getting bullied into like watching someone he loves and like feels very passionate about be like, I don't even know what the term would be. It would be like loved by someone else.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
manhandled, but yeah,
manhandle. I
like
think it is manhandling. Like grow
for
by
me, this
another
is a
person
nightmare.
and just
This
being
is a
like,
nightmare.
watch, you just gotta watch. You can't do anything about this. And she's just like, yeah, this is me. This is our love. This is what it takes. That's bullying. And then same thing with Jake. It was like, you're about this.
Yeah,
You're gonna like
this is what you have to do
yeah,
in
yeah.
order to be in this relationship,
It's just
and
interesting.
like 100%. If you like have that as a discussion,
Yeah. Yeah.
not as a show and tell of like, let me
Not
show you what you have to be about.
not live,
Yeah,
right? Like this is you talk about it ahead of time. You have, time to think about it. This is live action. And it happens in this kitchen,
yeah.
this magical kitchen that we point.
Of all places,
All
the kitchen.
places. All the major wild sex scenes in the kitchen.
They do start there, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. There might be something there. There's something else there to unpack.
Very little sex happens in the bed. I mean, some of it happens in the bedroom. I guess it doesn't start there.
They end up having like we dug into these first few. There's like a few others that are really impactful, I think. So there's one in the shower where Caleb and Mars and Jake's not involved are having sex. And that's a special moment for Caleb and Mars where they're like, I think this is when he first feels the Jacob's ladder in between, or like while they're DPing.
Yep. Yep. He feels it through. I don't even know what you would call that. I mean, I guess the vaginal wall, but it's like the vaginal to anal wall. I don't.
The taint wall, if you will.
Yeah, kind of kind of intense.
Yeah, yeah, and he's a massive guy. He's like a giant.
Yeah, Keenan is supposed to be bigger even than Caleb and Jake by a lot, by a lot. So like I guess Caleb and Jake are like two Red Bulls, and Keenan is like three Coke cans.
Insane, insane. Well,
Yeah.
like the
Oh.
well, what's nice about that scene? What's nice about that scene? Like the key for Keenan is to not be gay. Like he's not gay, and that's the key
And
thing.
they make that very very clear. So the relationship, and this is fascinating. The relationship is Rachel and Jake first, right? And then Rachel and Caleb, and then Rachel and Keenan. But then also very very clearly then Jake and Caleb, and Jake and Caleb and Rachel. Like it does then
It's
like I
it's not
cause
a rectangle. It's like there's a lot of lines that are crossing. The weird one is
yeah,
like Mars Keenan is kind of only one
he's
step.
on his own.
He's
Yeah.
on an island still. And the beautiful thing is like that sex scene is the first one is with him and Caleb. And then they have another one where after the Jersey fiasco,
Oh,
they tie down Caleb and they don't let him watch either because that's his kink, right? He wants to watch. They tie his eyes off, they tie him up, and Caleb or Jake and Mars have sex with Rachel, and he has to just
with
and that
Rachel,
like they're bros now. So they did
and he
like
has
two
to
separate
listen.
sex
Yeah,
scenes where they're like, we're not gay, we're bros. We're actually bros. And so that's how they made it not gay.
it did. I know that was a hilarious scene. That was the scene. Like those two, like Rachel and Caleb wear Jake and Keenan's jerseys, and then they switch halfway through, and they then get pissed about that, and they think it's Caleb who is like
Mastermind.
who's the mastermind. Yeah, and so they like Rachel and Caleb leave and go home to their shared home, and of course Jake and Keenan have to do press after the game, and like they're pissed throughout it, and then like they meet up and they're like, this fucking Caleb, we're gonna like fuck that guy, we're gonna like I guess I imagine Keenan's like, I'm gonna fucking beat his ass, and Jake is like, I'm gonna fuck his ass.
His ass.
Caleb, Keenan's like, whoa whoa whoa,
Easy, brother.
we're this is two cool guys. This is two cool guys that we're
Guys
gonna.
being cool guys. It's
They race home. They race home, and I had said this to you before. There's a split second where I was like, "Whoa, is this gonna be a wild? Like, is this gonna be a sad story? And like they're gonna die and get in a car accident on the way home?" And it was like, no, that didn't happen.
they just
They made like, yeah. They, turns out they go home and they hog tie Caleb. Literally, they hog tie Caleb.
they took a point, made it a point to blindfold him because he likes it. Like he likes so you can't. This is punishment, bro. You're being punished right now. Don't
I feel like they got to a point and Jake's like, whoa, this is actually Caleb's kink. Why like we're actually pleasuring him.
pleasure him. Stop. Stop, bro. Don't like it.
Get rid of that erection. What are you doing?
Put that boner away. It's fully torqued. Stop. It's so
Hold on.
it's just it's cute. Like it's actually cute how they like the shower section with Caleb's like, hey, like we both like her. We both want to be in this. Like, let's just be this. Let's just be it. And it's like a very like, hey, we're kind of the same. I feel like they have like more similar styles of being. They're like, we're kind of the same. Let's do this. This is fine. And they kind of like are able to push through. While Jake's more like I need to be validated. So they had a
Yeah.
common enemy, and that's what brought them together. So Keenan and Jake are like, yeah, fuck Caleb, and they're like, let's conquest together. And so it's like we're homies. Now we're homies. We fucked them. We got back to Caleb. Now we're tight. And so like that made the family.
Secure attachment.
Secure attachment. Damn, see? Beautiful.
Securely attached to Keenan. He when we forcibly had to suck Caleb's dick, he was securely attached to Caleb. What's interesting is there was like I feel like none of that really set up Keenan for the secure attachment, like to them. However, it may be in the culmination of this this first book, in like, because this is also Keenan's kink, is he has a breeding kink.
Ooh, and then it ends.
Yeah, and so this the ending of this book is super annoying because you'd call it, you talked about it before. This is like a Deus Ex Machina of like everything just works out. Like
Perfect.
Rachel is terrified of the paparazzi the entire time, and what is their solution? We're just gonna lean into it, and we're gonna tell the paparazzi, and the paparazzi is gonna just run with
They're gonna do what they're
our
gonna do.
story, and we're gonna tell your mom, we're gonna tell your dad, we're gonna tell everybody, we're gonna like, and also we're gonna come out as gay to all of hockeydom, and everyone's gonna love us. We just know it, right?
Yeah. And
Which that is exactly what happens. Everyone
like,
is
yeah,
like free love, and it's like, yeah, oh my god, you love her, and he loves her.
yeah.
Wait, and you love, and he loves him. Wait, and he loves her, and you guys love him. Like, oh my god, this is so good.
It's such a there's such a weak attempt. So this tickled me when I read it. Is so the Jersey Switch fiasco also outed the two as gay,
Yes. Oh yeah.
which is so silly. First of all, which is like your friend is Jersey, fucking gay. These guys are gay. Like that's such a leap in logic. Like if you played as professional sport, Hiram, I'd probably wear your jersey. I'd be like, yeah, that's my boy. I'm gonna support
Ugh,
my boy.
gay.
That's sick.
100%, dude, and I would be so stoked if you showed up in my jersey or vice versa. Like, I would be like 100%. I would have your jersey, multiple versions of your jersey,
Absolutely.
and I would be like, "This is," and I would tell people like, "Dude, this
This
is
is
like
my
this is my
this
best
is my
friend."
best boy,
Like,
my best buddy.
and I don't suck his dick,
And I,
but this is my
to
best
be
friend.
clear, we don't
No, I would be like 100%. There's nothing gay about wearing.
at all. And they're like, that's what ousted them to the team. The team's like, these guys are
Oh,
gay. And it
yeah,
becomes like the one like incy bincy, like, hey, maybe this isn't okay section. Like maybe that like the gayness is gonna go negative. And that you're like, that's how the story that could have been bigger, right? Like I think we talked about
yeah.
earlier, like
Oh,
it could have been bigger. Like it should have been like, oh, turmoil. This is the hard
it should have
like
been.
journey that they have to go through because there's a scary world that doesn't accept who they are. It would have been a
Well,
much
then
better
that's
story.
real. In our like adult lifetimes, we've seen that play out in these hyper masculine sports. We've seen it play out. So like, why not mirror some of that
Absolutely.
reality?
And it would have been a
But
journey. It would have been like the hero's journey back out of the turmoil, right? Like it would have been a much better book. And they could have done it through sex somehow. I don't know how, but they like she's obviously good at this. But like they could have come out of it in a different way, but they like skidded off this story. It just ricocheted.
honestly, what they should have done: sex on the ice. Someone accidentally comes on the ice. It is frozen there. A player hits it, gets injured, and it's like, what happened? What, like, how did he get injured? Why is the ice, what was on the ice? And they discover that it's cum, but it's not one person's. It's three. It's three guys cum.
Together.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's controversy. To your point, the way that comes out, it plays out so. It begins where you're like, oh, okay, like, ooh, wow, yeah, this is kind of like, maybe this is scary for them, and then it wraps up so fast. Of like, a couple of guys are like, what are you guys, gay? That's a like, ew, what are you, like, you guys are gay. And then they're rookies, I guess, right? And Ilmari, I guess, bullies the shit out of them and is like, what, you don't like gay people? What the fuck is wrong with you?
you like gay people?
I'm
I'll
gonna
meet you.
fuck you. Yeah,
He fully bullies them.
yeah,
But
yeah. And they're like, you're right, you're right.
Haley,
And then magically the entire team is like they have that they have there's a scene, I think it's with Caleb, and it's before anyone knows, and it's like they approach Caleb and they're like, dude, are you gay? And then very quickly they're like, and if you are, like,
talk.
oh, so like we support you, like all of us, the guys, like Brody and Chad and Bruce and Dave and Eric, like we're so like 100%, like you should be gay, like we're not gay, but you should be gay if you're
I mean,
gay.
everybody's a
And
little bit
like,
gay. Like,
I mean, we are hockey players. Sorry, guys. Uh, but yeah, it switches so fast to being
And
like
the other
gay
couple
is cool.
switches really fast too. She gets fired because this is all inappropriate behavior for like a workplace.
God, so
So
inappropriate.
it's like when this happened, I sat down and I was like, she shouldn't get her job back.
Oh no.
When you're in the emotion of it, when you're in the sexiness of it, you're like, this is amazing, so awesome. And then when she gets fired, it like clicked for me. I was like, this is way inappropriate, like not cool.
Yeah.
None of this is okay.
First of all, she's a doctor and like is caring for them as patients.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's not just one relationship, it's it's four relationships
One short of a
essentially.
harem.
Yeah, we did figure that out, sadly,
It's
disappointingly.
not a reverse harem.
But yeah, that like, dude,
They wrapped it
and
up so
then
fast.
leaking that to the press, like, yeah, dude, that is,
They bullied the league or they bullied the owner into keeping her too. They're like, the
the three
team
guys,
fucking quits if you fire her.
yeah,
The whole team
yeah, they're like, look, we unionized around this union, right? They're like, we created, like, everyone is gonna quit
union.
unless you allow us to have this relationship. And the owner's like, okay, guys, whoa, you got me between a rock and a hard place.
Hey,
What do you want me to do?
you know what? No more fellowship. Full time job and a bonus.
Well, we were paying you before. You know what? We bring you back and we're gonna pay you. And what's going on? The guy who's the lead, who's the main doctor, he's a problem. Well, let me look into that. Oh, he's fired. He's gone.
And you want to
It
have a
wrapped
relationship
up.
with everyone?
So
Fine. Part of
yeah. And you want to tell everyone about it? You want to blog about it? Okay.
deal. It was so
Done.
because that's what's
Yeah.
frustrating. Is like I do think they just wrapped up because they had to because the book is thick enough apparently that they're like
Yeah.
we have to wrap this up. Just close it.
I mean,
Yes.
honestly, yeah. If they had tried to explain any of it, I feel like I would have been like, you know what, just let's just let's just call it what it is, and let's get through this baby. But the culmination, this is like, again, we did another thing where we talked all around what we started. And this is the like how Keenan gets securely attached in theory, in a weird way. He does have a breeding kink. And the culmination of this book, so he gets to be on the Finnish Olympic team, and Rachel makes a fucked up promise to him, or like a bet with him, of like, if you tell me if I'm remembering this incorrectly, because maybe I've recreated this. Rachel's like, if you win, I'm going off birth control,
Yeah.
and like, y'all are gonna raw dog me. And so, cut to, of course, the Finnish team wins. Keenan and fucking guy scores a goal, as a goalie goal, like the ultimate goalie goal to win, or to no, sorry, it wasn't to win because they were already up, but it was like to like secure their win. Yeah, which is apropos of his character. And then like after that, it's like we're gonna have a cum cocktail, an actual cocktail. And the three of them, like, it is an that is it was the other scene that I stopped and came back to halfway, where I was like, Jesus Christ, I can't. Um, they all come inside of Rachel,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then I feel like that's then when Keenan becomes securely attached to the men.
We can all breed here
Yeah, this is a breeding
because it was
ground.
like it was weird because like he liked like seeing it like for lack of a better term, he liked seeing the cream pie, and I don't think he ever experienced like someone else's cream pie.
Bro, as a cream pie factory, that's not one pie. They were pumping those
I
out.
pumped it. Yeah.
Um,
Well, no refractory.
yeah, you're right. You're right. And then again, like, as if you could not get more ridiculous, you cut to the very, very end, and she's got a baby.
Great.
Yeah, sorry, pregnant,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
And it's
and
for sure Mars's. I think I don't even know for real. This is a joke, but I'm just gonna say it anyways. his is the biggest one, and he was the last one, so he squeezed everyone out, made the baby.
That I mean that is a thing in the animal kingdom.
That's what came to mind. Honestly, I don't know which animal this is a thing, but it is a real thing. It is a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a thing in the animal kingdom. God. Um
But
just
Del knows that he was strategic.
yeah. Yeah. But okay, so we like that was beautiful. I feel securely attached to you after talking through
Likewise.
that
I
wild ride.
I'm so we talked before. I'm so glad we did because like I felt so much more comfortable talking about it this time. Like we talked about the sex scenes very like there was a good flow. I feel so securely attached.
So okay, let's consider this episode 1, and so we're going to start it as you gave an incredible synopsis and review of the story. What would you now what would you rate it 1 through 10? And we could look at it two ways, right? Like story and enjoyment,
Yeah.
and like I like just general, this is your book review. And you also rate it in terms of smut, like
Yeah, like
give it
the
that smut rating.
Scobles will come up with that.
Yes.
How spicy was this? Was this?
How a space.
Okay, as an enjoyable like read. So this is it's harder now to answer because like just reading it, it'd be like a 4 or a 5 maybe. Just because I'm like, there's no
Oh,
story, like it's just a bunch of sex. But honestly, after we talked today, I almost would bump it up to like a 6, just because like, but we had to work on that to get to this story. So like I'm very torn. I'm very torn. Like post podcast 6, pre podcast 4. I'm cheating,
yeah.
but that's the answer. And smut levels from the books I have been exposed to, this is top Scobles. This is 9 out of 10 Scobles.
Well, yeah, it's more than 700 pages, and I mean, like, I kid you not, it's got to be pretty close to 50% like smut,
Yeah, yeah,
sex
yeah,
scenes.
yeah,
So story wise, yeah, story wise, I would give it a three and a
yeah,
half.
yeah.
Like, there's
It's
just
low story wise.
Emily shies away from any character building
This is
outside of the
missing
sex
completely.
scenes. I like if your theory is correct in the like character building within the sex scenes being very very intentional, I would give it a higher rating. I'd be like, wow, that was cool, that was very clever. um i don't I don't know that
I like
that's
that that's
actually
true.
true.
I love that it makes sense though. I love that it makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm excited to read another one. We already have one in the books, but like I'm excited to read more to see if this is something that comes up somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah, me too, me too. And then so my smut rating, I'd give it like a 7.5 because I fucking blushed. I was like I said, there were two scenes where I took a break because I was like, whew, this is a little too
I
much.
definitely overranked the smugness because I think I'm just not. I haven't read enough crazier books, but this one felt crazy.
Me neither. I mean, I may be ranking like a 9 or a 10, very very low, and we never, I never hit these levels again, or maybe I become desensitized. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. We have no idea where we're gonna go with that because like I think percentage of sex scene per like on a page basis makes the most sense to rate it because I do think you could probably become
Yeah.
desensitized. Like if it's not a marshmallow, a sentient marshmallow fucking a human, it's not sexy. We will eventually get there.
Here's here's the ultimate question and rating, I guess. You are on a plane reading the book. You got that physical copy in your hands, and someone approaches you and is like, "Oh, how do you like it? Should I read it?" What do you say?
I would blush right away. I get like I'd start giggling probably. Oh man, that's such a good question. I think I would be positive. I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, it's a great book. You should check it out." Because I think I'd be hesitant to be like, "It's kind of boring, but the sex scenes are great." Like, I'd hesitate to say that, which is what I would want to say. What I would want is to be like, the story's not that great, but the sex scenes awesome. Because I assume
We'll
it's a
get you
woman
there.
talking to me, so I don't want to say that. So I'm going to be like,
We'll get you there.
it's kind of interesting. You should check it out.
It's an old grandpa. It's an
If it's old
abuelo who
grandpa
comes
and
up
he's
to you and
sitting
is like,
next to me, we have some
"What are
time
you
to talk.
reading?"
I'd be like, story, doggy, complete doggy. Sexies? You should check this out. This is gonna work. And he's gonna
There you go.
rue the day. He's gonna read it and be like, what did this guy do to me? I didn't know there could be two P's and one B. What's a Jacob's ladder?
No, get real, dude. He's the first person to join the post Smut Clarity book
You're
club.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Post my clarity book.
But
It's a thing. You need to
there
join
it
us.
is.
Join us.
Episode 1 redone in the books. This is a beautiful podcast between two best buds. Join us for the next one.
Keep reading out there.